Stuff up.
Let's just do a really quick straw poll. You vote by applauding, and you can vote for more than one candidate. And I'll just real quickly go through the names of the Democratic candidates, and we'll toss them out, and we'll just. I'm curious, y'all.
Yeah,
we're up for this. Okay. We'll start out with Barack Obama. Who would vote for? Okay. Hillary Clinton. John Edwards. Okay. Al Gore. Okay. Dennis Kucinich. Mike Gravel.
Hey, he's good radio.
Yeah, there you go. Chris Dodd. Chris Dodd is running, right? Yeah. No, who am I missing? Yeah, Chris Dodd.
Joe Biden.
Joe Biden, thank you. I'm sorry, Joe Biden. And
maybe you didn't hear him. Joe Biden!
Not good news. Oh, and Richardson,
clean.
thank you. Yeah.
Richardson. There's the guy.
So I think that what we have basically here, and I hope I didn't miss anybody. We just did this impromptu. I think what we have here is a strong field. I mean, that's the message I'm getting from this.
I think they're a bunch of flip-floppers, frankly.
Yeah. Okay. The next question, actually, I'd say about 10% of all the questions that we got had to do with this issue. And, in fact, here's one, for example. But I'd say about 10% of them had to do with some variation on this. I want to toss this to you, Stephanie, first. This is from Susan Freed in Seattle. She says, do you support a single-payer health system? If not, how will you make health care affordable for every American, regardless of income? And there were all these other questions that were variations on it. How can we get Democratic politicians to talk about health care? How can we get them to stop using weasel words? How do we get the corporate money or the corporations out of health care? Or is that something that is that a fight that we should be fighting? Or should that be coming down the road? What do we do? How does your candidate, or what do you think the candidates' positions are on it? How relevant is it? To what extent is health care going to be a issue or possibly the issue that turns this election? Stephanie Miller.
I wasn't told I would need a health care plan. Ed? No, I... I think, I don't know if you've been watching all the Michael Moore on TV stuff, but, I think his documentary, as usual, just raises a good point. I think we talked about this the other day, it does make a lot of sense to me. I mean, I don't know a lot about the intricacies of healthcare, but I do know it doesn't seem like it should be a for-profit industry. And, part of this is the issue Ed talked about, too, they all take money from pharmaceutical companies, and it's the whole money in politics. I mean, I think it's all connected, but everybody in here, I'm sure, has a horror story about healthcare. And so clearly it's broken. And, what I think discourages people when you bring up Hillary, she had an idea. And then, people didn't like the idea, now she's probably afraid to even bring it up, And so I think that, like Ed said, I agreed with him about immigration. Wasn't a perfect bill. But you know what? Now all the amnesty people, you got silent amnesty, so you got nothing. And I think that that's what's happened with health care. We got nothing, and we all know it's broken.
Yeah. So what do we do?
Oh, God, Tom, throw it to someone else.
Okay. Mike, you want to jump in here.
Single-payer health care, I think any candidate who doesn't, like you say, just stop with the weasel words and get to it, is not a candidate. I want to hear anything beyond that issue. I'm not interested. Yeah. If you'll notice, there seems to be a correlation. There is a correlation between the rise of the HMOs and the decline of Americans' health overall. Where do we rank now? 27th or 35th or 112th or right below Kenya or something? I have no idea. But for-profit health care, we already have the model in place. Like it or don't like it, we have Medicare. Medicare works. The administrative costs are, 3%? And that could be driven down more if some of these wonderful ideas that George Bush has would be applied to Medicare, like whoever uses the best computer system. Hello. Whoever uses the best computer system lowers the cost to the point where it's available to more Americans. So the model is there, but the fact that we don't have single payer, and I don't want to hear universal. We have universal insurance now. It's called car insurance. What we need is single payer. And when you look at the money that's spent on our involvement, what are we in? Ed, how many countries do we have military base? 130 of them? It's astonishing. We make ancient Rome look like, a street gang. So if we cut back on that, this is the only place I agree with Pat Buchanan, by the way, and I'm sorry to admit that, but fall back. The Constitution says defend the country. It doesn't say get involved in invading people and starting wars. There's the money. The money's right there. Single payer, that's the number one issue. It's got to be. Got to be.
The other thing, Tom.
You know, let me just toss something into this, and maybe Cenk, you can draw this out a little more. I had John Edwards on my program a couple of weeks ago, and he was doing kind of a dance about healthcare. You know, well, I got this program, and explaining it in like 15 sentences, and part of it was anybody can buy into Medicare. And I said, well, what's wrong with just single payer? And he said, well, the political reality is we're not going to get single payer overnight. But if everybody can buy into Medicare, Medicare operates at such a low cost threshold, it will drive all the insurance companies out of business in a year. Right. So effectively what I'm calling for is single payer health care, except this is the way to do it politically. And I'm paraphrasing him again. But it seems like, you know, how do we do this dance, and which of these politicians are going to do it? Go for it.
Well, again, you need strong leadership. The problem is you've got Democrats accepting Republican talking points. So, you know, Republicans say, socialized medicine, we can't have it, it's communist, it's socialist, and Democrats go, you know, and don't hurt me, right? When they should stand up and say, hey, what are you talking about? You know what we have? We have socialized police in this country. And what they do is they come and help you, whether you're poor or you're rich, okay? We have socialized firefighters in this country. And they don't ask you how much you earn before they walk into a burning building. They save you no matter what. You know why? Because it's life and death. And you know what healthcare is? It's life and death. Okay?
Well said. So how do you get Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton and the other Joe Biden? How do you get them to memorize that little stump speech right there? Because that's a perfect soundbite.
Well, it isn't in the speeches; it's in the spine. Okay. And do you have the instinct and the drive and the willingness to take them on? You've got to fight them. You know. So how can they stand back and say, you know why they don't fight? Because they kicked Hillary's ass. They did. Back in 93 and 94, they ran all those ads and they shoved it back down the Clintons' throats, okay?
Yeah, I heard
and then everybody got scared. We shouldn't have gotten scared. We should have done what Bill Clinton did when Newt Gingrich said, I'm going to shut down the government. He said, go ahead, let me see you do it, okay? Let me see you do it, and I'm going to come back harder at you. And he won on that. And we can keep winning. Look, here, I take it to the American people. So simple. Right? You know, they want to talk about capitalism. Great. I love capitalism. I'm a big-time capitalist, okay? So we're spending the number one in the whole world in healthcare. We spend more than anybody else, right? And we're number 37 in results. We're number one in spending and 37 in results. That means they're wasting all our money. We're not getting our money's worth. Yeah. We're not getting our money's worth. Will you fight? Will you fight? You know, they got to fight. If they fight, they'll win. This is true on every issue. It's true on healthcare. They have the American people behind them. Now they just got to realize that, get a little strength, and fight back.
That's it. Anybody else want to weigh in on that? Thoughts? Ed, you want to?
Well, the political reality of this, the biggest benefit the Democrats have got is that the Republicans for 8 years have just told you to go out and get a health care savings account. They basically have done nothing. So this is the golden turkey that's on the table for all of us to carve up as far as being a progressive is concerned in the Democratic Party. So I don't think there's any question that the American people are with the Democrats on this issue. The majority